Beneath the glow of payload lights, where once we fought through endless nights, a world stood still in frozen time, a tale cut short before its prime. We rallied once with cry and cheer, heroes never die rang clear. On maps now mute and silent spawn, we sought the light before the dawn. From King's Row smoke to Ilios sun, our battles raged, our fates were spun. Together, strangers side by side, we pushed, we flanked, we lived, we died. And every patch a breath anew, with hopes that dreams would still come true. Yet in the halls where justice rang, the echo softened and withdrew. The stylized frames, the lore once deep, now dormant, hushed, in memories keep. A sequel came, but not the flame, the soul was lost behind the name. The voice lines dimmed, the mains long gone, the queue time stretched like ghosted song. A watch once kept with fervent pride, now ends with silence as its guide. So raise a toast to days long past, to moments that we thought would last. To shields and shouts, to clutch and cry, to Overwatch, we say goodbye. There was a time when Overwatch felt like the future, a colorful shooter in a sea of gray, a beacon of optimism in the often toxic world of online multiplayer.
Yeah, two bullets in
Fuck you, boy. Shut your
For a brief moment, it wasn't just a game, it was a revolution. This is the story of how Overwatch, Blizzard's heroic shooter, rose from the ashes of failure to become a global sensation, and how it slowly unraveled in the years that followed. A tale of innovation, ambition, missteps, and missed opportunities.
Jean, I made a chronal accelerator. I'm sure I can do this.
Overwatch's story begins in the ashes of failure. In 2014, Blizzard officially canceled Titan, a massively ambitious MMORPG that had been in development for over 7 years. It was a crushing blow for the company. Titan was supposed to be the next World of Warcraft, but from that failure, a small team within Blizzard, led by Jeff Kaplan, was given a second chance. That team took some of the ideas, art, and design philosophies from Titan and transformed them into something smaller, more focused. The result was Overwatch, a 6v6 team-based multiplayer shooter with vibrant, diverse heroes, each with unique abilities and roles. When Overwatch was revealed at BlizzCon 2014, it felt like a breath of fresh air. In an era dominated by gritty military shooters and brown color palettes, Overwatch brought bright colors, Pixar-style animation, and a cast of international characters. Closed beta in late 2015 built massive hype, and by the time the game officially launched on May 24, 2016, it was a juggernaut. Within weeks, Overwatch had over 10 million players. Within the year, it surpassed 30 million. Critics praised its polish, balance, and charm. Players loved the addictive gameplay loop, the strategic team play, and most of all, the characters. Tracer, Reinhardt, Mercy, Hanzo. These weren't just avatars, they were icons. From 2016 to 2018, Overwatch reached the height of its power. It won Game of the Year at the Game Awards in 2016. The community was booming with fan art, cosplays, and lore speculation. The game wasn't just a competitive shooter, it was a cultural moment. Blizzard kept the hype going with seasonal events like Halloween Terror and Winter Wonderland. Each event brought new skins, modes, and maps. Heroes like Ana, Sombra, and Orisa kept the roster fresh. Every few months there was something new to pull players back in. But beyond gameplay, Overwatch did something rare. It told stories without a single-player campaign.
Well, there's not much to see from in here, kiddo. But you know there's more out there, don't you? Come on. It's time I showed you something.
The world needs us now, more than ever. Are you with me?
So, that's it. You're leaving us.
I have been called. I must answer. It is a great honor.
I have been called. I must answer.
Yes, Winston. I am with you.
You took these because you wanted to see if there was more out there. Well, see for yourself. Always remember, never accept the world as it appears to be. Dare to see it for what it could be.
Animated shorts like The Last Bastion and Alive fleshed out the world and characters in ways few multiplayer games attempted. These were gorgeously produced, emotionally resonant, and shared widely. Then came the Overwatch League. In 2017, Blizzard announced its ambitious plan to create a city-based professional esports league. The Overwatch League, or OWL, launched in January 2018 with a $20 million buy-in per team, an unprecedented number. Cities like New York, London, Seoul, and Los Angeles fielded teams. For a time, OWL looked like the future of esports. Twitch paid $90 million to stream the league exclusively for 2 years. It was big. It was bold. It was Blizzard staking its claim in the world of competitive gaming. But even at the height of its success, cracks were starting to show.
You are not the first assassin sent to kill me, and you will not be the last.
By late 2018, things started to feel stale. The game hadn't changed much. Maps were still payloads and control points. Heroes were released slower, and most importantly, the meta, the dominant strategy in competitive play, had become suffocating. Enter GOAT. Named after the amateur team that popularized it, GOATS was a meta built around 3 tanks and 3 supports. Matches turned into endurance battles, slow, strategic, but often boring. For casual players, it was confusing. For professionals, it was restrictive. Blizzard responded with hero bans and a forced roll queue, locking teams to the 2-2-2 format. It helped, but the damage was done. Many players had already moved on to faster evolving games like Fortnite or Apex. Worse, Blizzard's live service model was beginning to show its age. Compared to games like Fortnite, which was offering near weekly updates and innovations, Overwatch felt slow and even dated. By 2019, new hero releases were slowing down. Echo, the final hero in the original Overwatch, launched in April 2020, over a year after Baptiste. Content was drying up and fans were growing restless. And then, in 2019, Overwatch 2 was announced. Jeff Kaplan took the stage at BlizzCon 2019 and promised something big. A sequel that expanded the lore, introduced PvE missions, and revamped the engine. There was no release date, no gameplay for fans to try, just concepts and a promise that Overwatch 2 would breathe a new life into the franchise. What wasn't said publicly was that most of the development resources were already being funneled into the sequel, leaving Overwatch 1 to languish. The community would be left waiting, and as months turned into years, excitement turned into skepticism.
Old habits die hard, I guess. Run home, kid. It ain't safe out here.
2020 marked a turning point, not just for Overwatch, but for Blizzard itself.
COVID-19 or
COVID-19.
The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted development timelines. The real blow came in 2021. Blizzard Entertainment was hit with a devastating lawsuit from California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing, citing years of sexual harassment, discrimination, and toxic workplace culture. The revelation shook the gaming world and devastated the trust of Blizzard's community. Overwatch's figurehead Jeff Kaplan resigned in 2021 after nearly 2 decades at the company. No clear reason was given, but his departure marked the end of an era. Blizzard insisted that Overwatch 2 was still on track, but communication with fans dried up. Hero updates stopped, events became copy-paste reruns. For nearly 2 years, the game stood still. Many longtime players left. Streamers abandoned ship. What had once felt like a lively, evolving game now felt frozen in time. The promise of Overwatch 2 was all that remained, and when it finally came, it wasn't what people expected.
As if I had the choice. Now what, friend? I'll be in touch. Boop.
October 4th, 2022. After years of silence, Overwatch 2 finally launched. It was free to play with new heroes, a 5v5 format, updated visuals, and a fresh monetization model. But something was off. Overwatch 2 didn't feel like a sequel, it felt like a rebranding. Gone was the promise of deep PvE content, replaced by a handful of limited time missions. The new Battle Pass system locked heroes behind a grind or paywall. The community that once celebrated every update now debated whether the soul of the game had been lost. Players who had stuck through the drought felt betrayed. New players were confused. Monetization became aggressive. Legacy features were stripped or hidden. The bright future that had been promised in 2019 had quietly been buried. The Overwatch League began to suffer too. Viewership declined, sponsors pulled out, and teams folded. What was once Blizzard's crown jewel was becoming a financial burden. Even Blizzard seemed unsure what to do with Overwatch. New heroes like Kirika, Ramattra, and Lifeweaver couldn't reignite the spark. Despite everything, the magic didn't return.
Say hi to the monkey for me.
Monkey?
Scientist. Whatever.
Today, Overwatch still exists, but it no longer leads. What began as one of the most innovative and beloved games of the 2010s had faded into the background of a constantly moving industry, but its impact is still undeniable. Overwatch proved that a shooter could be joyful, inclusive, and global. It created heroes out of healers, inspired fans to cosplay, draw, write, and dream. It brought strangers together in a mission to protect the payload. It also serves as a warning that no amount of polish or passion can survive without a strong plan, steady leadership, and honest communication. Maybe that's Overwatch's final gift to the gaming world. A cautionary tale wrapped in brilliant colors and hopeful voices. It's not just about the hero you pick, it's about what happens when the team stops working together.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
Overwatch was never perfect, but for many, it was unforgettable. A moment in time, a feeling, a community. And now, all we can do is remember what made it great. And maybe, just maybe, hope that someday, another game can carry that torch forward. Thanks for watching this deep dive. Do you think Overwatch can still make a comeback? If you've got a favorite Overwatch memory, drop it in the comments. If you want more video essays like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one, everybody.